I think we should go ahead and get started. I'm Zach. Josie's playing D&D somewhere. We got Chris and Josh. Let's start talking about Extreme Balls.
Rules.
Hold on,
extreme
start
rules.
again. I had an echo, guys.
You heard a what echo did you have?
The one that was created by me not having my headphones in.
So we just had Extreme Rules, one of the probably worst pay-per-views of the year, according to some people, but other people thought it was pretty good.
Okay, so who thought it was good?
I've heard a couple of good things about it, and here's the thing. Some of it was good. Not the entire card, but there were, like, redeemable qualities about it. But, when Dave Meltzer, wrestling rating god extraordinaire, says that the worst match of the year was in this pay-per-view, it's kind of hard to justify that it was good.
Meltzler said that the worst match of the year was Bayley and Bliss, right?
Yes.
Well, we'll get to that. That was actually a really well-booked match character-wise. This was the first one. While it's a terrible pay-per-view, incredible future booking was laid out there within a couple of stars.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and enlighten us, because I didn't enjoy.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and just start with the Alexa Bliss Bayley match.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy a hot second of that match. Ugh.
It was terrible. It was the equivalent of Brock and John Cena, except for a lot more cringy to watch. But
yeah, I mean, Bayley hit like one thing of offense, and that was that Bayley to belly while she had the pole, and then like just immediately got thrown into the kendo stick in the corner.
And then just oversold it for the rest of the match.
Well, I mean, the thing about the character of Bayley and why she's, like, I don't want to say she's failed on the main roster, but she's not been received quite like she was to the NXT universe, is you have to have an underdog. And as terrible as that match was, and as terrible as, like, This Is Your Life segment was, they're doing the right thing with Bayley. If you want to build her up as an underdog, you got to break her down. And they completely tore her down with both of those actions there. And so now you can only build up, and then eventually when she reaches that pinnacle again after working this whole card stacked against her and being an underdog for a while, you're going to get that pop that you want. And that's they're setting that up. Hopefully they don't shit the bed on it. Like, I'm not counting on them not doing that, but
I mean, I said this before we were going into this match. One of the things that I really hate about it is WWE tends to take all of their, faces and makes them underdogs, and they're like the loser, lame, I was a nerd in high school underdog. And, Daniel Bryan worked that really well, but at the same time, like, it doesn't work for everyone, and it's not working for Bayley. Like, that was who Bayley was as a person. We all know this, but it just doesn't feel like it's working.
They are correct to make her an underdog, though. They might be going about the wrong type of underdog, but like that character, I mean, even in NXT, Bayley wasn't that well received until she was being beat a lot by everybody. I mean, she lost a ton of matches in a row, and then leading up to her getting that title off Sasha Banks, she strung together a bunch of matches where it finally started to click, and she beat Sasha, she beat Becky, and she beat Charlotte.
And we have Extra One Up joining us.
Oh my
Hey guys,
God.
I finally made it.
Oh,
nah, you're good. You're only slightly late. We were only talking about how the Alexa Bliss Bayley match was probably the worst match of the year. Josh is trying to defend it at least a little bit, but
Okay, good, because I got some stuff to say about that.
Oh dear.
all right, go on. We pretty much said what we want to say about it, unless Chris has more to say about it other than it was awful.
No, I'm good.
All right, Josie, what do you got?
I have to agree. I honestly think it was the worst match of the night, simply because it made Bayley look bad. Bliss just squashed the hell out of Bayley. That's all it was. It was just a squash match in a pay-per-view.
Well, those
Yeah,
happen
and I
a
mean-
lot, though. Like,
Yep. I mean, we have Bailey doing this cool stuff, like she's willing to throw people off the top ropes, throw them in the barricade, but for some strange reason, she can't use a stick on Bliss. The hell, Bailey?
She was
Well, the
about
best part
to.
about it,
She was
the best
getting
part
ready.
about it too, though, was like the constant reminders by the commentary team. It's like Bailey's been watching the Sandman and Tommy Dreamer like matches to get ready. Like, obviously no, because if she was, she would have
used the stick.
If she was watching the Sandman, she probably would have hit herself in the head with it a couple times before she hit them.
Probably.
Give it 3 to 6 months. This terrible booking decision is going to completely pay off. Like I said, the only way to make Bailey a proper underdog and make that character work the way they want it to, you got to destroy every aspect of that character and break it down. You got to make it seem completely weak and soft.
Like
With an AW, of course.
like experts. I'm not saying that we're experts by any means. We're saying that the Daniel Bryan effect happened by accident, and they're trying to make it happen again. They're trying to they're trying to force it to happen, not let it happen organically. And
that's the biggest problem.
it's probably
That
not
doesn't
going to
sound
work.
like something they've ever done before. Like,
Yeah,
Roman Reigns or anybody else.
Yeah, they're trying to force Lightning to strike twice, and it's not going to happen.
I think this is the third time they've attempted this lightning bolt here.
Not even
the other thing
MythBusters
with
can
this
do it.
too. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
The other thing with this too is like this match was only 5 minutes long. The only match that even was remotely close was to the throwaway match with Rich Swann and Sasha Banks. The pre-show match with Kalisto and Apollo Crews was longer than the WWE Women's Championship.
Well, I mean, these throwaway matches,
Yep.
they were good though. Like,
That's the thing is like if you're gonna put your main female title up, putting it in a 5-minute squash match when it's the shortest match on the card,
Yeah, it just did not work at all. Whatsoever.
well,
I mean, they booked themselves into a corner with this match. Like, what really can you do with a kendo stick on the pole match?
Well, one thing that I think was probably gonna, work in their favor in the long run is making Bailey look this weak, and then last night on Raw they had Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax for the women's title, and Nia is dominating the match. Alexa plays the cowardly heel in this. If you put the title on Nia Jax and then make Bailey go for it against Nia Jax, that's how you make the underdog work. Like, you're not an underdog when you're like 3 inches taller than someone and you look bigger. Like, you can't be an underdog against somebody smaller than you. Like,
Very true.
Bailey's not a bad bitch. And Alexa Bliss is a bad bitch.
you can tell by looking at her face.
she's
Yeah.
a bad bitch.
It's so hard to take her seriously with the whole 5 foot of fury thing.
Oh, she is 5 feet of pure fury.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I hate that thing.
I
They
mean-
could have gone with another nickname, but that.
I mean, like Dynamite comes in small packages. Look at Chihuahuas.
Ooh.
I mean, but I mean, this is one of those things. I don't think we're done with this. I think this is the build up to a much bigger storyline with Bailey. Who knows? Maybe they'll work it out. And it wasn't the only one of the night where it was a weird booking decision that will lead into future things. I mean, you had the tag match that also kind of had the same plan.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but at least
so-
the tag match gave us something good out of it, and that was Sasha Banks doing her little booty shakes. Thank you for that.
Oh, not
I-
that one. Not natural segue to the tag team titles match. There.
Oh, yes, thank you.
The other booking. You don't leave Matt Hardy in the cage for what was it, like 6-7 minutes, just getting his shit kicked in.
Well,
To be fair, it was going back and forth.
yeah, Matt put in
without
a lot
the plan
of
of like
offense.
let's break Matt Hardy, and like that's I would call it break because they don't own the rights. Let's fracture Matt Hardy, and that's what they're doing there. And so like they were doing a lot of future booking at this pay-per-view. It very much was as a whole a throwaway pay-per-view. Like it wasn't WrestleMania 32 bad, but like
Well, I mean, we're probably going to see a heel turn on Matt, not even if it's not broken. Blaming Jeff for losing the tag team championships, doing the
Correct.
Swanton bomb off the top of the cage. Like, there's probably going to be some dissension there. There's
I
probably
mean,
gonna
Brother
be a heel
Nero's
turn.
spot monkey syndrome cost him those titles. Like,
Yeah, I
let's
was
be
gonna,
completely honest.
like I told Chris when we were watching the match, like this match isn't even far from over. because Jeff Hardy hasn't tried to kill himself yet.
True.
Don't get me
Well,
wrong.
He did do the whisper in the wind off the top of the cage.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the time when he tried to kill himself. Before that, like just completely like
Yeah, it
okay.
did seem like he's been playing it safe since he got back.
I mean, it's.
I mean, he did just like dive off a 20-foot ladder for absolutely no reason in the WrestleMania match.
Play it safe.
Like everyone was just dead out of the ring. Matt's climbing. He's the only person in the ring even remotely close. And then you have Matt just jump off and yeah.
You mean
So
Jeff?
here's my weird question with it. Do any of you guys consider yourself a wrestling historian? You might know on this. When has a tag team cage match ever had the rule that both members have to escape?
I'm pretty sure it's been every other time.
Every other. Well, there've
I
only
don't
been
know. This is
4.
I can't remember the last time that a tag team cage match has had the rule that, pardon me, that both members of the team had to, be out of the ring or out of the cage to win.
It's a very contrived ruling, but it might be correct for the way they're booking it.
I mean,
Who
you had
knows?
the tag team championship unification steel cage match, which was the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys in I think it was like 2000, 2001. But
And only
even
one
then,
person
like
had to escape.
yeah, only one person had to escape. I'm pretty sure. Like I'm looking at highlights of it right now. Yeah, it was 2001. Let me see because it's gonna.
Every WWE video game, because I play all of those when they come out, the tag team cage matches, you have to escape and your partner has to escape. You both have to escape.
Okay, so maybe that is the rule.
Yeah, because Matt is out of the ring at this point and Jeff is escaping. Well, he's about to escape, but he's gonna jump off the cage
And try to kill himself?
Put Devon Dudley through a table first.
Man, I mean, this pay-per-view
And there's the Swanton, and Jeff goes through the table.
this pay-per-view is very lopsided and weird, and it's your typical throwaway pay-per-view. I mean, who the hell expected anything out of Extreme Balls? Like, I didn't expect anything.
Right. I mean, I expected it to be like a decent pay-per-view, but I was getting more let down the more I watched it, which I hate.
That was your mistake. If you go in with any expectations, it's actually going to let you down. I went into it expecting it to be total fucking trash,
I mean,
and I was completely correct.
perfect segue to the start of the show. I actually didn't get to watch the start of the show. I was doing my dishes. Zach was sitting on my couch watching the show. It was The Miz and Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship. If
Thank
Dean
you very
Ambrose
much,
gets
Josie.
if Dean Ambrose gets disqualified, Dean Ambrose loses the Intercontinental Championship. Which I've voiced my opinion before.
When are they renaming that belt after the Miz? I mean,
I voiced my opinion before, saying that
He has to win it 2 more times.
saying that
I thought 3.
I'm just being interrupted.
Go ahead.
Apparently, my opinion doesn't matter.
Well, we keep hindering your gender, and I feel terrible. Buddy. Get it out there, buddy.
I'm just gonna unplug my mic, and you guys can have the show.
Hey, we're all about gender equality here, so continue.
Oh my god.
Broken
Please
brother
stop.
Christoph, say what you need to say there.
Woo! Let me just scream in my hands for a second.
I feel like if you just say it, it will take away the power of
Nope.
these terrible words to you.
But I can't say it. It's like one of those words that you just don't say. All right. I think I'm good
Back
now.
to the Miz and Dean Ambrose, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense that we had a disqualification clause in this match.
Not
No.
really. I mean,
I mean, you're going to make an Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and you're going to have the ability to get disqualified and have that be a negative effect?
and technically, I think we're just perceiving the word extreme as something it's not. The way I've always interpreted Extreme Rules was it's just a very strange variation of the rules. The match I remember, it was, I want to say, a year ago at 2 years ago at Extreme Rules. It was Randy Orton and Seth Rollins, and the extreme rule that was applied was that the RKO was banned.
Oh yeah, I
Ooh.
remember that.
So
I remember that
Extreme Rules
too.
seriously just means like
Weird rules.
some differential in a rule.
All right. I'll stop complaining about that now. But I will not. I repeat, I will not stop complaining about Jinder Mahal.
You should just bow down to your Maharaja, Chris.
No,
Just do it.
that's just not a thing that's going to happen.
We might actually end up killing Chris like internally if we continue to remind him that Jinder Mahal is the champion.
I feel
My
a
hope is
cancer
that we
growing in
just-
my stomach.
My hope is that we just break him, and we're going to eventually get Broken Brother Christoph.
Is he going to start referring to me as Brother Don?
that your
He's going to
middle
get a
name?
weird accent, of course.
Oh,
I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to show up.
You know what? I don't know if I missed the whole Dean Ambrose versus the Miz thing. I just wanted to point out I really did like how Miz did tell Maurice to slap him so he can try to win via the DQ.
No, he was telling her, "I love you, I love you, I love you."
The way
No.
she sold it was pretty funny, and better yet, his celebration was truly spectacular.
Oh yeah, his
like,
celebration
he
at the end of
something that
it.
great.
Yeah, but just that night when Ambrose was kicking his ass, he leans out the rope and he's telling Maurice just to slap him in front of the ref. I thought that was great. I
Yeah,
enjoyed
and then he throws the ref in, or Dean Ambrose into the ref,
it.
and just the ref completely no sells it on all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's walking around the ring and everything. Like, what do I do? What do I do?
Plus, I mean, it took the title off of a really soft champion, like a really horrible champion.
Other thing is with Dean Ambrose, like he's loved by a lot of casual fans, from what I can tell, and there's a good amount of like marks that like him too. I feel like it's mostly just us that don't like him,
Oh,
and
we
even
lost
then,
him.
like I like his mic work. I love his mic work.
His mic work is wonderful.
It's just everything else. Like his in the ring just seems always so lazy, and I feel like they're using his character wrong a little bit. And so you can't call him the lunatic fringe and then have him just be a jokester.
Yeah, you call
It's
him.
not Brock
jokey.
Lesnar lazy, but like,
Oh yeah.
Nothing's that bad.
no.
I don't know.
I mean,
Goldberg was
and
pretty
the
bad.
The best thing we got out of this was the Monday Night Miz celebration, where like that man got boos and cheers, but he told the truth the entire time. When the crowd came in with the "You deserve it" chant, the Miz masterfully came in and told him like, "Hey, I'm glad you're saying that, but this is completely meaningless because you'd say this to anybody that wins the title."
Exactly.
Which is the complete truth. Like that chant is worthless anymore. And it's because it's used all the time. And while you could see the fact that the Miz did appreciate that the crowd was saying this,
yeah.
he's completely correct. And then we got the fun sequence of him like trying to find Dean Ambrose and
Yeah.
skull crushing finale of the Bear. And I can't wait to hear like 5 years from now that somebody
So that was
for like the NXT title was the Bear that took a skull crushing finale. I mean,
Are you sure that wasn't Johnny Gargano? Because it definitely looked like him.
I don't think it was Gargano. It's somebody. It's definitely somebody from the Performance Center. That's
No,
how
it
their
definitely
business works.
like it looks
And, like,
exactly like Johnny Gargano.
that person might pan out to something. It's gonna be really wonderful to hear. Like, yeah, they were the Bear at the Miz celebration that one time.
It's like hearing that CM
Yeah.
Punk was one of the John Cenas.
or that or Shawn Michaels at one point in time kicked Ty Dillinger in the face because he was going crazy.
Yeah.
Or that John Cena was in Ready to Rumble.
He is in the background of that movie. I don't think
He
a
is.
lot of people know that. Like, he's just hitting the weights really hard there.
He is. You see him a couple of times when they're in the scene with trying to recruit Goldberg.
But
If I
anyway,
recall,
he-
did he come through did John Cena actually come up through the WCW training program? I don't know on that for sure.
He did. He started to go into the training program, but it was also at the time that WCW was falling into hard times. And
okay, that makes
by
more
the-
sense.
by the time he was like actually into the program, they're like, "Well, we got to shut this down." So he had to find other ways to get in.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it was easy because he was already in a professional program. So
Correct.
Well, I think that's one of the things that WWE might have actually obtained in the purchase of WCW was.
I mean,
a
AJ
developmental
and Joe
contract.
were both in the. Yeah, AJ and Joe were both in. I don't know why I'm spacing the name of their program. Like, it actually has a really great name.
It's the
and,
Power
like,
Plant.
Yes, the Power Plant. Like, they were members of the Power Plant, and that's how they.
Well,
at that
AJ and
time.
Samoa Joe also did debut in WWE prior to them going to like TNA and stuff like that.
Well, they were part of
Correct,
that
it's 'cause they
developmental
were-
program.
Yeah, they're Power Plant signees that they got along with the purchase.
Yeah, but they've had like live TV matches prior to that. Is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Actually, we also used to have a power plant here in Denver too. We used to have one of the training grounds here.
Yeah.
If I recall, Too Cool Scorpio was actually one of the trainers there because like that was their in line with it. Is he had retired from ECW
Hmm.
and was one of the trainers. I mean, he is from the Denver metro area and was a big deal in that time frame. He was one of the first like black tag team specialists that you had that saw a good deal of success in every single company he was in.
I think he's still out here too.
Yeah, he is a local. Like this is his home. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's really cool.
So
But anyway, back
we
to The
still haven't
Miz.
talked about.
we-
Yeah, we can continue going with the Miz. Yeah,
I mean, we should
You
just
guys
call this
really want me to
podcast.
continue dick riding the Miz right here.
We should call this podcast. Just rename it "Dick Riding the Miz."
We can totally do that.
I was gonna say,
RYD.
wouldn't
And
Josie leave? Because doesn't Josie not like the Miz?
It's a love-hate relationship. With
Okay.
the Miz.
Josie
I get that.
hates
The Miz is such a
WWE.
fuckface that like
Like,
you want to hate the Miz, but you gotta kind of love and enjoy what the Miz does. I mean, he's one of the last like true like you could legitimately take the Miz and place him in the '80s with people like Hogan, and he would have thrived. He would have been one of the top guys in whichever company you put him in.
Oh,
But,
he
like-
would be great.
here's the thing. Like, your love for the Miz is you're gonna dick ride him willingly. Josie's gonna hate fuck him.
I hate to say it, but I'm pretty sure the Miz would love what he's up to more than mine.
oh,
That's
man.
because Josie's got, like, no offense, Josh, but Josie's got better hair.
That is true. That is true.
Josie has glorious hair, locks of love.
I try to
none.
keep it nice.
So
All right, we can move away
the big
from the
match
Miz.
that I really liked was the submission match with Austin Aries and Neville. Fantastic match. A little weird with the almost disqualification and the ref counting out, doing a count out in a match where one of the way to win is by submitting your opponent, but rules in this match in this pay-per-view don't actually seem to matter. Going back to the kendo stick on the
They're so
Well, that's it.
extreme.
going back to the kendo stick on a pole, like, it's supposed to be first person to grab it, and Bailey very clearly was the first person to grab it, but they gave free reign for Alexa to just do whatever with it. And I think that may have been a botch at that point, because I think the plan was to have Alexa be the first person, beat the crap out of Bailey, and then have the do I don't I with Bailey.
So they just
But-
fast forwarded it to the do I don't I.
I mean,
Yeah, they had to, because the kendo stick kind of fell off the pole. It looked like Bailey had it, but
Okay, so they just basically broke up the spots to two different
Yeah.
areas.
which could also explain why the match was so short. Because from what I heard, the thing with Elias Sampson coming out and singing to the crowd was they hadn't
build
planned
time.
for that extra time that they had. So they're just like, you know what? You're here. Go out there, get some heel heat, do whatever you need to do.
And why is Elias Sampson there?
I don't know. Have we heard Corey Graves' opinion of Elias Sampson?
Oh,
Watching NXT, I know Corey Graves' opinion of Elias Sampson.
Oh yeah, I believe
I'm
it
pretty
was.
sure he hates that guy more than Zoe at this point in time. Like, if given the chance, like, to hit one of those people with his car, he'd definitely steer into Sampson before he'd hit Zoe.
But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
so last night on Raw, when Elias Sampson had a squash match, or I think he had a squash match, or he called out Dean Ambrose in a song. I think it was Booker T made reference to the fact that, like, he's good in the ring, and Corey Graves was like, he may be good in the ring, but he's like the equivalent of every single douchebag
Stop.
who carries a guitar.
Stop.
Let's pause for sirens here.
So he was
Sorry
saying
about
that he was saying that he's like the douchebag equivalent of every person with a car or guitar that plays on a quad in a college campus.
Do you think Elias Sampson knows how to play Wonderwall?
Oh yeah. Elias Sampson is the.
Are you
Wonder Woman.
allowed? Are you allowed to own a guitar and not know how to play that song?
Right?
I don't know how to play that song.
Well,
Like, every
that's
time
also
I even
true.
think about buying a guitar, I start humming Wonderwall. It's just. It's how
I
it is.
think the difference is that Josie has long hair and Josh doesn't, and you need to also have a little bit of long hair to be willing to actually learn that song.
Josh, do you own a
Oh,
guitar?
I mean, how else do you swoon ladies at parties? Like,
do you own a guitar, Josh?
I do.
Oh God, time for you to
Can
learn
you teach me
Wonderwall.
to play Wonderwall?
I don't know how to play any guitar. I don't know why I actually own one.
We're including that in your bio on the webpage.
Owns a guitar, does not know how to play.
Well, I mean, it's the truth.
Oh my God.
So back to the Neville Austin Aries match. My only problem with this match is this is a hard question to ask, is can Austin Aries truly be perceived as a threat going forward?
Okay, so there was something that I noticed that I kind of want to touch on right now. Austin Aries, like, Neville came down really hard on Austin's back towards the finish. It was kind of a weak
It was a
tap
great
out.
finish.
Oh, and it was beautiful, but like it was very rough, and you could tell it probably actually hurt Austin Aries.
Yeah. It looked like he was supposed to turn over, and then he didn't have time to.
Yeah, like
I mean, he did go on Twitter and say that he was going to rethink some career decisions, which is, who knows, maybe this is their way to fully transition Austin Aries into a commentator role. I mean, he's no spring chicken. He's been working in this industry for countless years now. And it's, who knows, maybe he's ready to hang that up and move it into the commentator position. He definitely has a future at that, and it still books Neville to look really strong. But
Yeah.
It books
don't know
Neville
how
as the
much-
man who retires Austin Aries.
so who's
Yeah, that's a good way to book it.
who's
but
typing?
I don't, I mean, not,
Who's
not
what?
I.
Who's typing?
No, it wasn't me. It was
Oh.
Josie.
I'm sorry. It was. I was trying to be quiet about it.
Oh, it's fine. The type, it's not that it's loud. It's just that it's actually starting to like dull Josh.
Trying to
that's fine.
what?
It's so your typing is starting to
Uh-huh.
be louder than Josh because this app for some reason drops people's volumes when other things that are louder are trying to get through.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
It's really dumb.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just my roommate's wondering when the hell dinner's going to be ready.
Oh, you're all good. But I mean, like, this is one of those things that I honestly, and I hate saying this because Austin Aries is a great competitor. How do you perceive him as a threat going forward? He has officially been completely buried by Neville to the point where I'm pretty sure the man with 3 H's would even be pretty okay with that shovel work, you know?
Shovel work.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Honestly, I can't take Austin Aries seriously at the moment. I mean, the feud was starting to go well, and like you said, Neville just pretty much buried him at this point.
Well, I mean, like you listened to our episode last week. All of us thought Austin was going to take the title this time.
Very true.
It was the only, like, on my prediction sheets, it was the only winner that I didn't have correct.
Yeah.
Wait,
No
I
way.
mean, you should have picked Bailey for that women's match. She would have been way cooler. Dad, you better just go hug off, you know.
I guess that's right.
God, I hope they actually give her that persona.
But like, I think Aries, like, okay, so another awkward thing that happened during that match. Well, after the match, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but the camera zooms in on Austin Aries sitting at ringside. He's got a big old goofy grin on his face.
Oh god, that grin was just like terrifying. It was like it reminded me of that photo of that soldier from World War One with shell shock
Yeah,
in the
like
trench.
Huh.
Like just straight up creepy smile.
I'm gonna have to look for it. I missed it,
Here, I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
but I did notice at one point they had to slow down the match because Aries was like holding onto his shoulder pretty hard, and it looked like he actually injured it as well.
well, Meltzer also points out that he comes out with kinesiology tape on his back,
Yes.
which further concerns me because of the way Neville landed on Austin's back.
Yeah, that was a pretty hard landing.
Yeah. It's just ow. Like the more I think about it, it was like the thighs directly into the upper back. It was rough.
Very rough.
It was hard to watch. Like they did the replay after the fact, and I had to look away. Like that was brutal. Something got. I don't want to say broken, but something got.
Sprained.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Something bad happened.
This is how you take the broken gimmick and you give it to Austin Aries.
Oh god.
Broken Austin Aries. Does he still have the accent, like the weird ass accent that we don't know what is?
The Milwaukee accent.
Ah, yeah.
The
So guys, I think we have
Wisconsin.
one more match left on this, and then I'm probably gonna cut out a bit early.
Yeah, so let's talk about the main event, the 5-man match. Winner gets to face the absent title. We have Samoa Joe winning over Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Bray Wyatt.
I just want to talk about Fat Guys Unite for a second. Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
so
Samoa
Samoa Joe.
definitely that team up between Samoa Joe and Bray Wyatt was fantastic.
Yes.
It was pretty good.
Fat Bros.
It did slow the match down a little bit, but I think it was needed though.
Well, yeah, when you have 5 guys in there going for 30 minutes, they had an hour left, by the way, when the match started. They had an hour left in the
Yeah.
program, and those guys had to take up as much time as possible. And so you have that team up between Samoa Joe and Bray Wyatt, and that kind of just drags it all out a little bit longer because then they all take their time on one of each of the other 3 guys.
Very true.
So the nice thing about Joe winning this is if you do want to book a major swerve and have somebody come out and crush Brock Lesnar, like, let's be completely honest, if Joe shows up, chokes Brock Lesnar out, like, are you questioning that at all?
Nope, makes Lesnar
No,
look
not
like
really.
a bitch,
I'm
too.
not like, and he could do that. Like, if he shows up and just chokes Brock out, it's a very easy way to take that title off him without making Brock look weak. It makes Joe look really strong, and Joe has always had that about him, especially if you watch that segment on Monday Night Raw where Joe choked out Paul Heyman, which might have been the best segment of this year.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Yeah, that was a fantastic segment. I wouldn't say best of the year because you're also talking, this is the same year where we had the Festival of Friendship and a bunch of other great segments. Like,
See,
it
I
was
don't count that
fantastic.
as this year. Like, my calendar year begins at WrestleMania for everyone. But
I guess that's fair. If we're counting like actual physical calendar years, yeah, it wasn't this year, but
But WrestleMania
No,
year
it-
so far, yes.
yeah, it was really great, and Joe is a very credible threat that I really hope that doesn't end in a squash match. Like, at the very least, that match better be a fucking bloodbath.
Give us a
Yeah.
hardcore match at Great Balls of Fire.
Not even hardcore. It, like, you don't need them hitting each other with stuff,
Right.
but it better be just 2 monsters just throwing each other around. Like,
Yeah,
It's-
pretty much just take the Goldberg versus Brock match at WrestleMania and like extend it by 10-15 minutes.
This
Just have
will
them
be-
throw each other around.
This one will be like Godzilla versus King Kong. So, like,
I think it's a lot like the Rock Vin Diesel fight in Fast 5.
ooh, I
yeah,
really
just
hope
that-
do
you know,
that.
2 Hulks just smashing into each other, and that's what both of those characters are.
They are. And you guys might actually hate me for this, but I think if they actually make Brock win at Great Balls of Fire, this whole absence thing he's doing could actually be a really good gimmick.
I hate you.
Yes, I know you do. But just think
I
about
want
it
you to
because-
defend that. Defend that, please.
Okay, fine. I will. Now just think.
Shitty idea.
Just think about it. So now, every now and again, okay, after Brock, like say Brock wins at Great Balls of Fire. After that, Paul Heyman comes out. He's like, to the next number one contender. He's like, no. You don't have the honor of challenging Brock. Brock, you're not worthy of Brock's time. How dare you? And they could push this off until Mania. He could literally just be this absent, you're not worthy of my time champion until someone takes it at Mania.
I can't.
This is the equivalent of telling Chris that Jinder Mahal is the world champion to me.
Yeah. By the way, Chris, did you know that Jinder Mahal is the WWE champion?
I think he just logged off.
Chris is dying inside right now. Like I think he muted his
think
mic
so.
and he's just smashing his head into his desk at this point in time.
Probably. But honestly, maybe it's just me. I think it could work. With the right pushing, it could work.
It could, but it puts that title in the trash. That title is worthless at this point in time. And don't get me wrong, they have done nothing at all to make that title look strong. You look at the times that title has changed hands. It's been from some shady heel antics where there was interference to put it on Kevin Owens, a squash match, a match between two part-timers, and the titles disappeared for how long? And in that same time frame, you had two non-wrestlers on commentary calling your world champion a fat ass and just degrading your champion with no ramifications. It not even to the point where you have Kevin Owens going over there and out trash talking Ashton Kutcher and like Danny who gives a fuckston.
Well, they did get put on the list.
That's still like your champion's not doing that. Your champion's best friend is doing that. So you've done nothing to help your title look strong, and you're not defending it for a couple months. Like at this point in time, I'm pretty sure the now defunct Divas Championship, which looked like a tramp stamp, means more than this belt right now.
I mean, as I've said multiple times about Kevin Owens' Universal Championship run, I hated the fact that he defended it every single time and never had a clean finish.
No.
Not even like his just destruction by Brock Lesnar was technically clean because
Or Goldberg?
Yeah, whatever. Giant big guy that does something.
That does 3 moves.
Yeah. Like none of his title was ever clean. He didn't win it clean because Triple H helped him win, and then every single time it was, Jericho interference, Jericho double teams on him, and it's just like that's not how you should book your champion. Your champion should actually be able to defend it clean, and Kevin Owens held it for 5 months and never once had a clean victory.
It's fine. In 3 years when they stupidly merge their world titles again, is anybody really going to miss that oversized fruit roll-up? I'm not.
Not really.
No.
They've done nothing to benefit that title. They probably still won't. I mean, if the plan right now is to put it on Roman Reigns, people are going to hate it. And so you're not doing your title any service. People came in hating the title. They came in thinking it was a stupid name. It is a stupid name. People aren't wrong about that.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin did predict that he would become the champion of the universe.
He is the face of America now, so I'm glad he came out clean on the other side. But
All right. Okay. All right.
Are you back now?
Hey,
Guys,
Chris.
I need help cleaning up a mess.
Just look at pictures of Kevin Owens. You'll be fine.
Or you should look at pictures of our super vascular muscle-bound champion,
Oh, who's that?
the modern-day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal.
It's funny that you brought up Reigns just a couple of minutes ago because honestly, I think that's going to be my worst nightmare is come Royal Rumble. Like Reigns is going to come out during the Rumble, probably in the first or 30th spot, and win once again.
I said this last week. If he wins the Royal Rumble next year, I am not watching WrestleMania.
No. You need to have a SmackDown member win it. You could have a 15-person battle royale on Monday Night Raw and let Roman win that and move on to WrestleMania. No big deal.
Oh, well, since it is SmackDown's turn, maybe they'll just put Reigns on SmackDown so he can win.
Whoa. It was SmackDown's turn last year.
People will revolt if Roman wins it again. And I don't dislike Roman's booking this year. This is one of the first times, and I'll say this over the last year and a half, Roman has earned that spot. He's busted his ass. I hate saying it because I hate Roman as much as the next guy. But like his in-ring work rate is improved. He's far from his tater tots promo that like to this day might be the worst. Roman's busted his ass, and like if you're gonna give it to him, fine. I've accepted that. You're gonna do it whether I like it or not.
True.
Just do it in a way where people don't want to riot.
Yeah,
and what they want to do, like what we're hearing through the dirt sheets right now, that they want to do with Roman right now in the future is really great booking. Like you guys have heard what the plan there is, right?
No, sir.
Which one?
Give the Intercontinental title to him?
Not that one. That one's garbage.
Okay,
that one's actual trash.
Well, I was going to say, you're saying that taking the title off The Miz is good.
No,
I need to make sure you're okay.
Someone go to Josh's house.
The short-term goal that we're talking about right now is going to give, countless female fans a total lady boner with this, which is they want to do the club led by Finn Balor against the Shield.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which sounds great with a heel turn from somebody within the Shield. And frankly, all three guys could use it. Like Seth is floundering right now as a babyface. Dean Ambrose hasn't had any forward progress as a wrestler since he held that world title and had it dropped it to AJ Styles. And Roman has been due for a heel turn for 3 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like that's the plan, and that seems like great booking. Not just good booking, great booking.
Yeah, that could be really, really good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so, hopefully that is what they're going with, and they're not going with the awful elimination of mid-card titles, which Vince, on occasion you're stupid, but you're not that stupid. Like, you're not Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett is the kind of ass clown that would make that kind of stupid decision. And so Vincent Kennedy McMahon, I know you can hear me, possibly, because you got Wi-Fi on the jet, bro. Worst case, your little bitch Kevin Dunn is listening to me right now.
Oof.
You two are not that stupid.
And on that note, Josh, are you gonna take off?
Probably. I've not got a message yet about going and ruining karaoke for everybody.
Oh yeah.
Little do you guys all know, the Johnny Awesome experience travels to local karaoke bars and just shits its way through shows.
Oh wow.
Josh.
One of these days
Tonight
we
might
need
be
to
a Bismarck key night.
I've heard that you got what I need.
Oh man.
When you say he's just a friend,
All right, don't say any more because we don't own the license to that song.
fact. We're
He
making
might just
fun
be
of
a
it.
friend. I don't know.
Oh my god. We're gonna get sued.
Oh no.
No,
we're
we
not.
only said 2 lines. We're fine.
then
We
we
also
made
don't
fun
have
of
the
it.
background music behind it, so I think we're good.
Yeah, that's also fair.
How about we just confuse them? You sing the lyrics and I'll hum Wonderwall.
Nope.
I mean, have
Copyright
you ever met a girl that
infringement,
you tried to
double
date, but when it came to making love, she wanted you to wait?
Oh my god.
Now we're done. We're done. We're out of here.
So before we go into talking about the weekly shows, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, you can support us on patreon.com/averageguys. And you can also follow us on Twitter. I believe Chris is at The Great Hoff. Josie is at Extra One Up. I am at Zach Banks, spelled in a very weird way. So just look at our website if you want to know how to spell that. And Josh, do you have a Twitter that you want people to follow you on?
I'm too cool for Twitter. Twitter's for lamos.
All right, you can follow him at Instagram, whatever Josh's Instagram name is, because he would rather...
It's the smell before rain there. Like at some point in time, we're gonna have that there. And also, feel free to hit us up about what you want to hear on this show. If you want to hear stuff about Ring of Honor, we'll gladly talk about Ring of Honor. If you want to hear stuff about UFC, we might talk about that. If you want to hear stuff about TNA, go home, Jeff Jarrett. You're drunk. Nobody watches your terrible programming. You're not a real wrestling promotion.
And me and Chris have also been getting into Lucha Underground, so we will gladly also talk about that.
Johnny Mundo
I
is
hope
my
we talk
hero.
about Johnny Mundo is the hero we all need.
And if you ever want to sponsor the show, I'm talking to you, Blue Apron. All I ask in return, we will gladly support you. Just let me have your product at least once, because I will talk all great about it. I already subscribed to it. I just want it for free.
No shame. I might have to cut that out in editing.
That's fair. I mean,
currently, aren't we just sponsored by some MaxiPad company that only sells in Indonesia?
No, we're sponsored by the Johnny Awesome Experience.
Oh, man, they'll just throw money at anything, won't they?
yeah, they will.
That's why we have to say Johnny Awesome Experience at least 3 times on the show. We got it, Johnny.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Monday Night Raw. I believe Chris doesn't believe in watching weekly shows.
I don't
He
believe
doesn't
in
even watch his
watching-
weekly shows on his own WWE Universe and WWE 2K17. So that'll
is
tell
true.
you.
I try not to watch Monday Night Balls, like, strictly, like, I live in a SmackDown home.
That's fair. So I know Josie watched it because he sent me lovely pictures of my brother and his other roommates watching it last night.
Yes, I'm actually slowly turning my roommates into wrestling fans. It is adorable.
Looking at Lowell's face, he is just so into it. Like, he is unbelievably into it.
He doesn't want to admit it, but he's getting into it. He really is.
What segment was that picture you sent us? I'm like genuinely curious as to which one that was.
Crap, I honestly don't know. I would actually let me check the messages on when I sent that, and I can probably think of.
You sent it Monday at
do you-
10:20 p.m.
Do you guys want to talk about things that went right this week or things that went wrong on Monday Night Balls?
Let's start off on a positive note. The positive notes being, starting off. Let's talk about the Paul Heyman segment, because anytime
was
Paul Heyman
really
talks,
great.
I pop a semi-chub just because that man has the most amazing voice in the world.
Even better.
And I
than
just got a
mine.
very disapproving look from my girlfriend just now.
Like, only she knew what Paul Heyman looks like and that you're getting a boner for that. Like,
Google that up.
But-
Show her.
One of my favorite things about that entire segment too was just the random drop of Paul Heyman saying, "As a Jew."
Yeah.
What?
No, I mean, no joke. Like, go back and watch that segment. Those are the exact words that he says.
I'm going to go back and watch it with subtitles, and there better be that.
I might have
they-
to watch Monday Night Balls now.
It was pretty good. And I believe the segment that we were watching was the Kalisto versus Titus O'Neil match.
Here, one sec, Holly. This is what Paul Heyman looks like.
There are 6 eyeballs on that TV screen during that segment.
There really is.
There's 6
But I mean, like, that
eyeballs
segment
trained.
was actually wonderful. Like, Joe did not lie when he said something terrible is about to happen to you.
Yeah, and the best part about that too is he puts this, no mic, so the crowd has no idea what's being said. The only reason that we know what's being said is because the camera mic picked it up.
Very true.
And that was a great segment. That was the best part of the night. The second best part of the night was the Miz celebration performance that we talked about earlier. We don't really need to go much more into that. But the part that a lot of people I don't think caught that was really wonderful was the segment backstage between Alexa and Kurt Angle,
Yes.
where
Yeah.
Alexa proposed the Alexa Bliss, "This is your life" segment, and Kurt Angle proceeded to say everything we felt about that abysmal segment last week, where he goes, "Oh God, no, I hope not. That segment was terrible."
It really was.
And Alexa has to defend herself on that. But like even then, you could kind of tell Alexa is like, I agree, but in the script, I have to not agree.
Which at
Yeah.
least goes to show that like the E at least gets when they put out a really shitty product like they did last week for that segment.
The writers have a sense of humor right now, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
The booking agents on Raw are garbage. The writers aren't terrible right now. Whoever's booking that, like, why the hell are you employed right now? It doesn't actually make sense.
You're
I
fired.
feel they should just fire him and hire us. We'd do a whole lot better.
Oh no. We would do just as bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
we have zero
the reason why
experience booking.
why Smackballs is working so well right now, booking wise, is Smackballs is currently booked by the person who was booking NXT during their monster run, which was that time frame between Kevin Owens as their champion to Samoa Joe becoming their champion, and like that booking agent was brought up to the main roster and has been employed by SmackDown since, and that's why they're killing it. It's why Smackballs is the
Can we
land of
please use a different
opportunity.
phrase?
That's Smackballs from now on.
Oh
Or it
my
could be
God.
Balls Down. All right, would you prefer Balls Down?
I like balls down.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Balls down.
I mean,
I
smack
mean,
balls
if you're
sounds
gonna put the
painful.
word balls in one of your shows, like I'm gonna put balls in every one of your shows.
Money in the balls,
And-
balls in the bank, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So another segment that I thought was very well done with Monday Night Raw this week was them swerving us with the whole Enzo and Cass thing, and instead of
Oh,
Enzo
yeah.
getting attacked this week, Cass gets attacked.
Yep.
So
I mean, we all know that's the revival, right?
yeah,
Say
I mean at this
yeah.
point it has to be the revival, but you have Enzo's fine this time, so he comes out, finds the only other person that's currently employed by the E, except maybe that man who's running for governor or something like that, that is over 7 feet tall, and gets the world's largest athlete, the Big Show, to come out and proceeds to cut his regular promo. But the thing that made it the best was the Big Show has a little bit of hesitation and then just goes straight into it and just fully embraces it.
I thought that was great. My roommates loved it. They were laughing their ass off so much.
Well, I'm glad that you could teach cutting promos, but the one thing we do know for sure is you can't teach being 7 feet tall. Like it's just an unteachable quality, which
Yeah, you definitely can't teach that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I read a kayfabe news article today that said that a stilt walker now proved that you can teach being 7 feet tall.
So,
that son of a bitch.
weird
Oh.
question. Did we get Big Show spelling out SAWFT?
We did.
You
Oh,
did, yeah.
My God,
And it
I
was
have to
glorious.
watch that.
It
Well,
was,
the
it
best
was amazing.
Raw tonight.
The other fantastic part about this entire match, other than just completely burying the club, was the typical Enzo being thrown by Cass onto his opponent was done, but the Big Show picks up Enzo, starts walking him to the middle of the ring, and you have Enzo screaming, no, this is not how we do it. What are you doing? And then just gets slammed onto,
Yeah.
I think it was Anderson, and Anderson gets pinned because of this, but it was just done so well.
Zoe just goes limp.
Good for Big Show. I mean, he's
Yeah.
in the death rattles of his career, and he looks like he's having the time of his life. Sure, he didn't get his match with Shaq that was all hyped up that we hoped we could have, and who knows, maybe we'll get that at SummerSlam if Shaq goes and cuts that nasty ass bunion they tweeted off his foot, and like
On that topic of
Loses
Big Show
some
slimming
weight.
down, another great thing done by Enzo was when the Big Show's looking hesitant, and he's like, "Oh, you're looking good. Slim down. You gonna join the cruiserweight division? Because I'm not allowed to because I weigh 207. I'm a heavyweight."
Oh my god.
I mean that is Zoe's future. I my honest to God feeling about this whole like the revival beating up Enzo and Cass is that it's their way of segueing Enzo out of in-ring work. As great as Enzo is on the mic, he's equally terrible in the ring.
I can see it.
And so-
I can agree with that, but I
Yeah.
can also disagree with that pretty
Yeah.
heavily because I really like Zoe. Just as the little guy, I really like it.
he has a great future either in the cruiserweight division or as a manager, and I think he has a very strong future as a manager. I mean, you could put that character. I mean, we had that character in the '80s. I don't know if you guys know about the character Slick.
Oh yeah, I remember Slick.
Slick is very similar as to how Zoe would behave as a manager, and like that is more than fine. Zoe has a great future at that. I mean, he learned how to cut promos from Dusty Rhodes. How the hell he doesn't have a future cutting promos, I don't know.
No, yeah, I totally agree with that.
Oh,
But the man is soft in the ring, and not like SOFT, but like
SAWFT.
soft.
you can't teach
Yeah, no.
being bad in the ring.
No, but I mean it's fine. I mean, he's undersized, and there have been very successful undersized competitors, but Enzo's not as technically sound as those people who have succeeded.
Well, I mean, if you watch the WWE WrestleMania day after Raw after WrestleMania WWE 24 that episode, you learn that Enzo was strictly hired for his mic work. He wasn't hired
Absolutely.
to be a wrestler. He was strictly
And he's-
hired to talk.
He's really great at talking. Like, it sucks to say that. I would love to see Enzo and Cass be tag team champions at some point in time. I feel the fact that they've not been tag team champions in either NXT or the WWE is just some large scale build up to when you finally put that belt on them and you get that really big pop.
Or if you transition Enzo to more of a management position on Cass, and then Cass wins the WWE Championship, and Enzo's promo is, "This is Big Cass. He's 7 foot tall, and he's the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and you can't teach that."
I mean,
Probably.
it's true. You can't actually teach something like that.
Yeah.
You have to earn it.
Yeah.
Or be of Indian descent and hope that they're selling a bunch of T-shirts in India.
Oh, who's that?
Some jobber.
I
Oh
forget.
man,
his name.
really? They put
so-
a belt on a jobber? Jesus.
Well, he's a name jobber. He's like one step up.
Oh god.
He was a jobber to the stars. I mean, the man wasn't losing to James Ellsworth. He was losing on a weekly basis to people like Rusev and Finn Balor. So he was losing to name talent.
That's why he's a name jobber.
All right, so let's talk about what went wrong with Raw this week.
What went wrong?
Yeah,
have a
Josh
list
said
of
that there were
things.
things that went wrong. Apparently, Chris, much like Chris Jericho, has a list, but it's probably not as important.
Well, the list just says 3 hours long over and over and over and over and over again.
I guess that is fair.
Yeah, it was a little long. I know I did not enjoy the cruiserweight match between T.J. Perkins and Noam Dar. No, was it Dar? No,
It was not
the other
Noam
one.
Dar.
It was the other one.
It was Mustafa Ali.
There we go.
Racist.
I will say,
Mustafa Ali's not a bad worker. I mean, if you want a really wonderful match, if you have the network right now, I want to say it was 2 weeks before WrestleMania this year, there was a match that Neville and Mustafa Ali put on that was absolutely
Oh, I remember
brilliant.
watching that.
Like there were spots after spots that were incredible to watch. And so neither of those guys are a bad worker at all. It's just when you lack in-ring chemistry together, I mean, you can't teach that, you know?
I mean,
True.
I'm a
And
big fan
saying,
of Mustafa.
I'm not saying he's a bad worker.
Does.
You put on bad matches, and it wasn't a great match. Your biggest problem right now is, and this might just be a rumor that's been around, but I've heard it for a while, is that they are legitimately telling the cruiserweights, like, cut back on a lot of the flashy stuff you're doing.
At least
What?
on Raw, because they want to sell 205 Live. So if you're just doing these kind of blasé matches on Raw, and then like the fantastic high flying matches are on 205 Live, it entices people to want to watch 205 Live.
Yeah, but 205
Yeah.
Why the hell would I buy 205 Live if you're putting on bad matches? If you're not showing me something great that makes me want to purchase this product, why am I going to go out of my way to look for it? And that's their biggest flaw right now, booking wise, with cruiserweights.
Well, I mean,
No, I
like-
fully agree. I'm just saying, like I get what they're doing. It's not working, and they need to do something about that. But at the same time, you know, if you take your 205 Live matches, you make them fantastic on Raw, you have a similar effect of, well, I'm watching this, I'm getting a good match here. Why should I care about the other show?
There's
It
just
comes from finding a balance, and I'm sure
Yeah.
there's something there.
No, you
You
definitely
need
need,
to-
the balance, but right now it's in the wrong direction on one side.
Correct. And hopefully that changes here. I mean, there is the rumor going around right now of the merger of 205 Live and the UK show, where they're going to get 30 minutes apiece. Your biggest problem you have right now with
Ew.
205 Live, and anytime you watch it, is the crowd is completely dead.
on Monday.
Yeah, that is true. They look so bored with the cruisers.
You know why that is, right?
No,
205,
not-
205 Live is recorded immediately
After SmackDown.
It's the same. It's the exact same reason why you have a dead crowd in the third hour of Raw.
yeah.
Yep.
And like the thing is, with your third hour of Raw, you still have a little bit of hype behind it because you're actually putting on good matches in the third hour of Raw.
And they are putting good matches on with 205 Live. It's just your crowd is burnt out.
And you're not.
Maybe-
You're also just
maybe
not
move up to
putting
the
the big talent there either. Like
yeah, your top guys are Neville, Brian Kendrick, Austin Aries. Like, it's a kind of a thin market of top guys. You know what I mean?
whereas
I mean,
when you have your third hour of Raw, you have people like Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt matches. Like
your Dynamite.
matches people want to watch because those are going to be the things that are also just going to headline pay-per-views.
I mean, on occasion they do give away matches that would headline a pay-per-view tonight as well. I want to know how it ended. As we're recording this tonight, there was a match between Shinsuke and Kevin Owens, which just taking those two people, there's no way there's a turd in that match. Like that
I mean, I
match-
already watched SmackDown. It was very good. It was a great match.
Yeah.
What's it called? I've already missed half of it since SmackDown on my cable channel starts at 9:00. So at least I get to catch the last half of it.
I just watch it on Hulu a lot of the time.
Oh,
Yeah, but the problem with Hulu is it cuts out a lot of it.
Yeah, they do the pre-recorded nonsense. Do you guys remember AM Raw? It broadcast on Saturday nights on like some Spanish network, and they cut out a lot of the crap.
yeah,
When I had
remember
cable, that was my weekly thing.
AM Raw?
Yeah, no, like my weekly thing was I would be out driving for Uber. A little bit more of the Johnny freaking awesome backstory there. And I would be out working like a Friday night with that, and I would get home about 1:00 because like I'm not going to drive drunk people around, and would come in and be watching SmackDown and Raw as they aired the re-air at that point in time.
Yeah, and I used to watch that exact thing. I would watch Raw that way because it was on like Telemundo or some like basic TV channel. And that's why I love Carlos Cabrera so much, because that's the voice of Raw to me as a kid.
it's not a bad reason.
Yeah. Also, I figured out. I found the Paul Heyman segment. He says that he worries about his clients because, as a Jew, that's what he does.
Ah,
Wow, Paul. And to think,
Oh my god.
we also have heard story. That's not the worst thing I've heard with that. At one point in time, this is a weird thing that probably the WWE doesn't want to talk about, but they were pitched a character that was a Nazi sympathizer
Oh jeez. Was it JBL?
that was gonna cut. No, no, like they straight up were gonna wear like
Hitler used
Nazi like
attire.
yeah, like look it up. It's a very real thing. And he had talked to Paul Heyman about doing promos with Paul Heyman, or like he was going to cut promos against Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman was 100% on board.
Oh my god.
Luckily,
wow.
luckily, nobody else in creative was on board, and they just told that guy, "Go home. We don't need your services."
Yeah,
like the
wow.
person who pitched that to them. But like Paul Heyman
You
was
have
on
to-
board with it.
But you also have to wonder, like, did this guy want to be fired? Like, if I want to be fired from a job where my job is to come up with storylines, I'm gonna be like, well, I want to be fired. So today I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna say, why not make a character that is a literal fucking Nazi?
And like it's not shocking when Paul Heyman says or does any of this. If you've ever watched any tiny bit of ECW in its prime,
and not WWE, CW, ECW.
no, I mean we're talking where they crucified Raven when Kurt Angle was in the crowd, which Kurt Angle from signing with them. Like Paul Heyman was one of those people that if he couldn't get actual viewership through what he was putting on, he would try to get infamous with it, and he would put on crazy stuff like that to where like you're questioning who the hell is signing off on these.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're talking about a guy who signs off on all the craziest shit that you could possibly do in pro wrestling, being okay with the Nazi sympathizer gimmick.
Yeah.
Which that story is still the weirdest pro wrestling story that I know of with that, where it's just like, wow, that is nuts that somebody would pitch that.
I mean,
like
I think
that,
Heyman just
I can't even
wants...
fathom that.
I think Heyman just...
The notoriety.
Yeah, he just wants that. He wants the shock value. He doesn't care about, like, you know, wholesome...
It's like TNA. It's like TNA agreeing with Orlando Jordan's gimmick of being the bisexual character who has a male and female valet. The WWE just completely was like, yeah, right. No, we're not doing that.
Well, I mean, you have...
Can I play that gimmick?
It's one of those
Sounds
things.
cool.
The old adage is, you know, I mean, even if they're talking something negative about your product, hey, at least people are talking about it. You
Yeah,
still have people hearing about this. You still have people going, hey,
there's no such
so I
thing
guess
as bad
this is
press.
going on there. No, there
Bad
is
press
no
is
such
still
thing.
press.
Correct. And Paul Heyman's not wrong to want that. I mean, and frankly, when you're dealing with something as boring as the character of Brock Lesnar is, you need as much,
Hype
I
as
guess-
possible.
yeah, as much oomph in the background to like get somebody to go and
Yeah, you
wanna
want
do
somebody
that.
to talk about your product so that it's advertising your product.
But I mean, like, also just the numerous amounts of problems with not having Brock on Raw TV. Like, okay, so Heyman was on Raw, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think Heyman is their placeholder for Brock Lesnar as long as Brock is away. Like, Paul Heyman is Universal Champion.
So here's the thing.
Have you guys considered the conspiracy theory that Brock Lesnar, like, what was that movie that Hugh Jackman was in a couple of years ago? Those Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Real Steel.
Yeah.
Have we ever considered the idea that Brock Lesnar is a real steel like robot that's powered by Paul Heyman?
That would be the greatest, like, bait and switch storyline I've ever seen.
No, I mean, as a robot, like, even robotic technology right now, which is extremely advanced, like, really, could you program a robot to do more than like 5 wrestling moves? Like, yeah, you could teach your robot how to throw a couple of suplexes, put like an arm lock on, and then like an F5. But that might be the extent of robotic technology right now is to wrestling moves.
I don't know. I'm gonna try to find more videos of the robot wrestling in Japan.
So here's the thing that, and like this is 100% how I believe they're phrasing this. Paul Heyman, after getting choked out by the Coquina clutch, has a call from Brock Lesnar, hinting that Brock is going to show up next week, and I think that doing that is probably the smart thing on WWE for right now because. Yesterday you had Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals. You had I think it was also Game 3 or 4 of the NBA
Game
Finals.
Game 2 of the NBA ones.
Yeah, and then last week you had like big NBA playoff games on Monday, and then you also had the same thing with the Stanley Cup. So why not? Keep your main champion off for those days where some of your fans are going to be gone because they want to watch the Penguins lose the playoffs or the Stanley Cup, which is what I'm hoping for. Or
Sidney
people.
Crosby is a dirty player. Like, don't get me wrong. If you ever see any this is talking about a quote unquote real sport. But Sidney Crosby and Kevin Durant are both baby back bitches.
Speaking of basketball and the NBA Finals, did you guys see what happened with Ric Flair?
Wait, what?
No, I
Ric
did not.
Flair was there.
Ric Flair apparently got into a fight with, I think, a Warriors. I don't know if he's a Cavs fan or a Warriors fan, but he got into a fight with a fan from another thing or the other team, and in said fight broke his hand.
I really hope that he elbowed his jacket a few times. Like the thing that I didn't say about the Miz earlier.
Maybe also
true.
bladed a little bit in this actual fight he had with a fan.
Oh my god!
All I'm saying is that man elbow drops inanimate objects like nobody's business. Like, don't get me wrong, more on the Miz dick riding train. The Miz elbow dropping that cardboard box this week would have made Ric Flair proud.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
would've.
100%. Ric
was
Flair
so-
got into a fight at the NBA Finals game, and in said fight broke his hand, but also, apparently won the fight.
What would you do if your daughter disowned you on national television?
You're just going to go to a basketball game and then get into a fight with someone and break your hand in said fight?
I mean, I would.
That's all he has left.
I guess.
My daughter disowns me. I'm going straight to an NBA Finals game and just finding the nearest jerk I can and punching him in the face.
You have to make sure you're wearing a jersey of the opposite team, though.
Okay, so so it's a 50-50 thing. I just gotta wear a jersey, and then whoever's not wearing the jersey I'm wearing, I just go punch them right in the face. Right?
You gotta woo before you do it.
Oh, sorry.
That's the-
Woo!
There we go. We got
There
it.
you go.
But back to Brock. I mean, the big thing about bringing Brock back is I'm like 99.9% sure that the bulk of your fan base forgot what your championship looked like.
I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. I had to Google what the championship looked like. I forgot what it looked like.
until I was messing with it today, and I actually want to own the fruit roll-up belt. For many
It does
reasons.
look like a fruit roll up.
But like, it was really refreshing to look at it again because, like, when they revealed it, like it was just a red WWE championship. It was like very bland and stale looking and all that. Well, now when I looked it up, which might be the reason that they're keeping the title off of TV, when I looked up the replica, it was beautiful. I couldn't take my eyes away.
No, and like it's really frustrating, and that comes with it. I mean, like we were saying earlier with Extreme Rules where the rules don't matter, that's the WWE as a whole. Rules have never mattered. I mean, in this same calendar year, and like this is the actual calendar year, not my made up bullshit WrestleMania to WrestleMania thing.
Well, at least
In
you're
the year of
admitting it's
2000,
bullshit.
yeah, in the year of 2017, we've already stripped one champion of their title because they couldn't defend it in 30 days. Meanwhile, Brock Lesnar has not been seen since April 4th.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
And as of the day recording this, we're on June 6th. So we're at least 2 months of not even showing up. So obviously that title is not being defended. So your rules don't really matter as a company. And I'm sure they're going to catch a lot of shit the next time they strip a champion of that title for not defending it for 30 days. And they deserve every bit of shit they get over that.
Oh yeah.
If you're going to have a champion that hasn't been seen in 2 months, you can't take that title off of somebody because they hurt their hand.
Yep.
I mean, it's a lousy plot device that you, as a company, have just lost access to.
Yep. Even then it wasn't a shitty plot device. Like it's perfectly legitimate because, people get injured and you don't know when they're going to come back. So now, next time Finn hurts his shoulder and is going to be out for 2-3 months, if they take away the championship, they just crucified themselves.
I mean, he's going to defend his championship well before Brock Lesnar's even going to step foot in an arena at this point in time. And it's really bad. It's hurting your brand as a whole. Like, Monday Night Raw is the inferior product. You want to talk about what's the A show and what's the B show?
You know what? I'll say it right now. The Universal Championship is beautiful.
It's a good-looking belt.
I love it.
I want to call it a fruit roll-up as much as I want, and it is a fruit roll-up to an extent.
Here, I'll link you the article.
Can't
from
really
the Ric
put a
Flair
title
article.
on a red strapped. We'll post the Ric Flair article on our Facebook page for the listeners there. Like,
It's not really an article. It's just, a picture of him from his Twitter with a broken fan or with a broken arm, and it says, one Warrior fan down, left hand still good, be in the land on Wednesday, Rihanna move over and let Nate show you how it's done.
Oh man.
Is there a hashtag woo there? Because that's all I need on that.
There should be, but there isn't.
Oh,
Do you think
0 out of
it's
10 would not read.
I'm currently making eye contact with my Ric Flair Funko figure, really judgily. Rick, what the hell are you doing? Did you not know how many O's to put on this woo?
It's not hard, man. WHOOO. There you go.
I'm pretty sure went hashtag WO and was like, this is probably a bad idea.
I think you just put O's until you hit the end of the character count that you're allowed to have. I think it's 256 characters. So if you eat up 30 of those with your tweet, there better be 226 letters in the woo.
Yep.
I thought tweeting was only 146.
Is it? That goes to show how little I know about Twitter.
It's 140.
40.
But hashtags go over, I think.
Mother of God.
Yeah, if you use the hashtag, it'll let you go over a little bit.
As my sign off here, making my way out, I'm gonna leave you guys with these knuckleheads here who made the wrong choice. They don't live the hug life. They're not hugnificent. They need to go and hug themselves. Not picking Bailey. You bunch of clowns. Next thing you're gonna tell me, you're gonna be supporting the Usos and stuff like that. Who the hell does that?
I mean,
day one is H.
Day one is not H. Day one is booty.
all right, Josh. You
All
have a
right.
good night.
On that note, though, we can probably start moving into SmackDown, and we can talk about the fashion files of this week, which I think I'm the only person who's actually seen it so far because.
Yes, you haven't. I'm about to go catch the second half, and also I got to finish making dinner. So.
All
Okay,
right,
buddy.
so it's just going to be me and Chris talking about SmackDown, so that's perfectly fine with me.
Fair enough.
Who's the top champion on SmackDown?
The top champion on SmackDown, I believe, is Kevin Owens with the United States title.
That's the correct answer.
Straight up booty. He's booty.
Why are you still here?
Because y'all booty.
Hey, people need to experience the Johnny Awesome experience. Go sing karaoke.
For sure.
All right.
One
and
of
on
these
that
weeks-
note, gentlemen, I'm out of here myself. I will
right.
see you guys later.
Fantastic.
All right, so SmackDown we had the Fashion File segment tonight, which is one of the only notable things about tonight. Actually, there's a good amount notable. It's basically just going to be me telling Chris what happened on SmackDown.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I can
So-
talk about things too. I'm looking at the
That's fair.
the news feed.
Yeah, so we started off with a 6-woman tag match. Prior to that, though, we had the unveiling of the women's Money in the Bank. We had Lana come out and officially make her SmackDown debut. She wanted to say that she should be put into the match because she's just fantastic. Shane told her no, and then the 6-woman match started. Some interference got ran. Lana came out, distracted Naomi, then swept her legs, so she fell. As she went back into the ring, she got a super kick from Tamina and got pinned by Tamina. And then I don't know when it was announced. I don't remember hearing Shane say anything about it tonight, but according to WWE.com, we are now going to have Lana versus Naomi as our SmackDown Women's Championship match for Money in the Bank. Chris, thoughts?
Who's Lana?
Lana is the wife of Rusev and was for a long time his valet, and prior to that was the valet for the true Johnny Awesome Experience, Johnny Curtis, aka Fandango.
Huh. That's who that is.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so all joking aside, that's exactly how your casual SmackDown fan's going to react to that.
Yeah, it's just kind of, huh? Who is this?
Yeah, who?
She came out in a ballroom gown both times. Because her original gimmick, I think it was her original gimmick was just being Fandango's dance partner. So she was always coming out in that, and I think they're going back to that. It is interesting though because Rusev and Lana are both on SmackDown, but you're kind of splitting them up. Kind of just letting them run their own separate thing in a similar light to how John Cena and Nikki Bella were prior to the build-up to Mania this year.
Well, isn't Rusev out with injury right now?
I don't know why Rusev's out. I know that he's been kind of clamoring for a world title shot at Money in the Bank, but it's like nothing has come from that. I know there was that whole promo where he said that he wouldn't show up to SmackDown unless he was given a title opportunity at Money in the Bank, but our current Money in the Bank title match is Randy Orton versus the man who shall not be named because Chris will just leave the show, and I don't want to be talking by myself.
Smart man.
So yeah, it's interesting. It's probably going to be a pretty blow-offy match. I don't see why you would put the title on Lana, especially beating Naomi. If anything, it's going to be something with the women's Money in the Bank match. And I hope that they don't cash it in like immediately like they did last year. I like having somebody, walk around with the briefcase for a little bit.
Well, yeah, it builds suspense for like when they're going to cash it in. Like you have a SmackDown-esque Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and like at the end of that match, I remember when CM Punk had it the first time. Every single title match, I was just waiting. I was sitting there. I was like eyes fixed on the TV. I'm just like, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it?
Who did Punk cash it in on? He cashed it in on Edge, right?
Yeah. When Punk was still a face.
Yeah. That was Punk's. Was that a heel turn? I don't remember.
Yes? Question mark?
No,
yeah,
it
no,
was.
because Edge was.
I think Punk's first heel turn was when he moved to the straight edge gimmick against babyface Jeff Hardy.
Wasn't CM Punk also the first person who cashed in who didn't succeed with Money in the Bank?
No, that was John Cena, and John Cena lost that through a disqualification. And then the other one was Damien Sandow.
Damien Sandow won it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I know. So other thing, what happened next? I believe. Oh yeah. So something that I was kind of a fan of is Mojo Rawley comes up to Shane McMahon and says, "Hey, I won the Andre the Giant Battle Royale, but I've literally done nothing since Mania. Like I just want a shot. I want a shot. I want to, like, I'm not saying put me in the Money in the Bank match. I want to, like, earn it, which is definitely something that I think is good for Mojo Rawley's character.
Oh, I love Mojo.
So Shane told him that he would put him in the Money in the Bank ladder match if he could defeat Jinder Mahal.
Oh God!
So we had a match between Mojo Rawley and Jinder Mahal. It went exactly as you would expect it to be. Jinder looking very weak because he's kind of that champion who can't win without his faction. The Bollywood Boys interfered and cost Jinder Mahal and cost Mojo Rawley the title when Jinder Mahal hit his move, which I'm still not 100% sure what the name of that is.
I couldn't say it.
Yeah. And then I believe after that we had, what was next? Yes. A rematch from last week of AJ Styles and your favorite Dolph Ziggler.
Oh God, that match! Why didn't I watch SmackDown this week?
As we remember last week, we had that exact same match. Dolph Ziggler was the first person, or was one of the few people to get a clean win over AJ Styles. Just no interference in that, and pinned AJ Styles. And then this week they traded victories. I was kind of half watching it because I was playing. I don't remember. I think I was playing Moto at the time, but I kind of like turned away.
Magic
and
Online
then turned
for you
back to the match. And Styles hit Dolph Ziggler with the Styles Clash and pinned him.
Ooh.
Let's see if I can kind of.
I'm reading the synopsis right here.
Yeah. So do you remember what match was next, or do you have the ability to look?
After that, it was Carmella and Natalya. Carmella, Natalya, and Tamina beat Naomi, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch.
No, that was the opening match.
Really? Oh, so next one that's Jinder, New Day, and Colognes?
Yeah. So that led into the Fashion File segment. So the Fashion File segment was the New Day comes into their office and asked them for a, like, do you guys have anything on the Usos? We're fighting the Usos for the tag titles at Money in the Bank. But it was done in a very good fashion. The New Day comes in and he's like, we want your help. And then, in their heads, you have Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Should we take on this case? Does the new case rocks? But, like, it's all in their head, so they're talking to each other telepathically. But, they're sitting there like, is that a no? Like, we have a, like, they gave them rompers, which are, for some reason, the fashion of whatever today.
2017, go rompers. I mean, I hate those things. Don't go rompers.
To be fair, I didn't even know what those were until a friend posted about them, complaining about them, and I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Anyway, the fashion police were in rompers? Is that what that was?
No, so the New Day gave them rompers.
What?
Yeah, and Johnny Curtis, also known as Fandango. I'm just going to keep calling him Johnny Curtis.
Well, okay, so why do you keep calling him Johnny Curtis?
Because that was who he was when he debuted in the original NXT.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So they give him the rompers. Fandango's like, well, I'm not a dirty cop. I may be a cop and I might be dirty, but I'm not a dirty cop.
Huh.
And then, Tyler Breeze comes back wearing it, and they're like, well, I guess we like that. So then they hand him, like, 3, like, big files of just, evidence that they have against them.
Are they big, like, dumb manila envelopes that just say evidence across them?
Pretty much. And you could very clearly see the wig from the old lady. in one of the boxes. So then the New Day leave. They go out and have a match against the Colognes, which of course they won. And then Sami Zayn said something. I was actually not paying attention during that. I had something backstage with Baron Corbin. Again, like I said, I wasn't paying attention.
Well, okay, so Corbin's like one of the people that I will not pay attention to no matter what. Like, okay, so I joke all the time about Jinder Mahal being WWE champion, right? I joke about that. I joke how much I hate it. I joke about all of that. I'd probably hate a Baron Corbin WWE championship run a lot more because I just legitimately hate Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Like, at least Jinder Mahal worked. Baron Corbin is just big.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm going to start an internet feud with Baron Corbin on accident.
That's totally fair. So then we go to our main event. Fantastic match of Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kevin Owens.
Oh, God.
It was a very good match all around. And then we have our finish, and Finn Balor comes out. And, has to interfere in all of that because he's the big heel in this entire...
Wait, Finn Balor?
Or not Finn Balor, sorry. I meant to say Baron Corbin. I don't know why I said Finn Balor.
Okay, so Baron Corbin comes out and starts bugging people.
After the match ends, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, and starts beating on people. I think it was Shinsuke that won. I kind of missed the finish because I was jumping in here.
It says right here, Shinsuke Nakamura defeats Kevin Owens.
Okay, yeah, so Shinsuke won the match, and then Baron Corbin comes out and starts attacking people, because that's what he does.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he's the bad guy. He has to interfere in all of that stuff. So it was a pretty decent SmackDown. Definitely just one of those, like, we have a pay-per-view in 2 weeks. We need to finish settling in all the matches that we're going to have, but also put on a good show. And from what I can tell, they did put on a very good show. Like I said, part of why I wasn't paying attention was I was playing video games at the time.
So, are you telling me that the weekly shows were better quality than Extreme Balls?
I would definitely say that. As I said earlier, the only real things that I enjoyed about Extreme Rules were the 5-man match and I barely even enjoyed the Miz match. Like, there were some good spots. I was okay with the finish, but it wasn't holding my interest as it should. But I did very much also enjoy the Cruiserweight match.
Well, the magical word, suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
I'm
Fair
just
enough.
happy the Miz is champion again.
Yeah. And all right, this has been the Average Guys Pro Wrestling Podcast. This is Zach and Chris, as Josie and Josh had to leave us early tonight. We're signing off tonight. If you enjoyed our show, please drop us a like at facebook.com/AverageGuysPro or stop by our Patreon at patreon.com/AverageGuys, where you can find out what we're doing, find the history of all of our predictions titles, and listen to the show 4 days in advance. All you have to do is give us $1 a month to get that. Thanks for listening, and have an average night.